Hi everyone, here Marcelo. I'm a master student in innovation and sustainability, and today I have the pleasure to interview Minola. Minola, thank you very much for accepting this invitation. Can you share a bit with us about yourself?
First of all, hi everybody, and thank you so much, Marcelo and Oikos for this opportunity. It's a great way to spend a little bit of time together. Um, well, as you said, my name is Minola. I'm originally from Romania. I come from a city right on the border with Hungary. I also come from a mixed family. I'm half Romanian, half Hungarian. I'm a journalist by trade. I've um, I've discovered change management quite by accident about 15 years ago, and I have enjoyed it every day since. I'm currently based in Luxembourg, and I am just very, very happy to have the opportunity to know and to meet and to work with many inspiring people. It's pretty much like the real life proof of that saying that everybody comes into your life to be either a blessing or a lesson, and I am equally grateful for both.
Thank you very much, Minola, for this introduction. Yes, indeed. One of the purpose of this program is to be inspired and inspire, and also to give new perspectives about responsible leadership, and to give this first input and ideas so people can know or at least think about what is responsible leadership and the competencies that will help us to become a responsible leader. In that sense, Minola, would you like to share with us a story regarding responsible leadership that happened in your personal life?
Oh, I would love to. And this will be a personal story. This will be a personal journey that helped me have a different take, if you want, on stakeholder engagement. It also touches a little bit on ethics and values, um, but at the same time is a deeply self-awareness story.
Great. So at least you frame the competencies that we will be talking about. Can you develop on this story and share with us a little bit more? And I will ask you maybe some questions
Yes.
after you share a bit of it.
Yes. So, um, just to put it in context a little bit, it's a story about one of my key lessons from COVID and the roller coaster year 2020, of which, if only for this story, I hope people will still keep on talking about. I remember as soon as the lockdown started, two very polarized schools of thought emerged. One of them that pushed, that this is the once in a lifetime opportunity to take all this time to go through all your priority lists and all your to-do lists and learn two foreign languages and take online classes and become best friends with your mother-in-law and build a whole new relationship with your colleagues. And it was literally something that I used to call the Duracell bunny on steroids. So go 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 and do, and every day you need a list and go through the list. um at the other end of this uh, spectrum, going through lockdown tips and tricks, were those who pretty much said, in comparison, that this is your moment, to live into your inner ficus plant persona, when you just have to be in the moment and soak up the sun and enjoy water and just embrace the now. And equally, they are equally true and they are equally valid, both of them. But in reality, I found, and not just myself, but many people that I talked to, we found that we basically oscillate between these two. We are never, very squarely into one of them. And we might have weeks on end when it's all about the doing and we go through everything that we want to do. But then we do feel the need for a few days of just calming down and doing nothing. Whereas we cannot be in the do nothing phase for too long, we also feel the need to do something every now and again. And that made me think that if it's that much of a difference between moods and mindsets for just one person, that is me. Um, and I also recognize that I was indeed blessed of not going through lockdown, having to care for sick parents or, homeschooling children and taking care of God knows how many other challenges that are there. So if it's just me in a very calm and comfort zone, I could say, going through the lockdown, and I still have these, mood swings and mindset swings, then how difficult it is for all the people out there that in some way, shape, and form I interact with. And I cannot expect them to, always meet me halfway. Sometimes that halfway is impossible to identify. So that was my being mindful of the fact that we are different, and also being mindful of a dimension of diversity and inclusion that people don't speak about so openly. So we talk about diversity and inclusion in something that is probably visually easier to identify, like gender and race and age. But the true diversity and inclusion is about diversity of thought and diversity of mindset and diversity of resilience and even diversity of what we are willing to put into our work and to put into our life, and diversity of how we balance these two. So I would say that my key takeaway of 2020 was that we are all different, and it takes a moment to be mindful of that and to make that a reflex and suspend judgment and suspend expectations, because you are the reference point. And as I just said, we are fluid in how we go about life, and everybody has the same right. And this fluidity um, is just natural, and it has to be acknowledged, and it has to be harnessed, and it has to be celebrated, because it means that we are free to change our minds, and we are free to change, and we should absolutely do that.
Hmm. Totally agree. Yeah, diversity, having this diversity of thoughts, so we can go out of our own perspective and know what exists in the world and confront it to what we are and what we think, and from there, from this confrontation, build something new.
Hmm.
Right?
I believe that there is a big thing that many of us need to unlearn, that you can have different opinions and you can have a conversation where you come in from even contradictory points of view, and that doesn't diminish respect, and that doesn't diminish kindness, and that doesn't diminish the value that we see in each other. Quite on the contrary, I believe that being able to create a safe space, if you want, where having different opinions just enriches each other's lives is is something that we have to be more mindful about creating.
Minola, just one question to
Yes.
clarify and for our audience understand better. How would you define a safe space?
Well, for me, a safe space is one, and we're talking personal stories here. So for me, a safe space is the one in which you know that you can go whatever it is that you're feeling and thinking and just be there and know that you are seen and you are heard and you are not judged. And it's a safe space where you can say, I am sorry, or I need help, or I know what you mean, or I hear you. It's basically a space where you can be who you are, even if who you are is not very clear at the moment. And it's also okay to say, I am in a moment of my life where the only honest answer I have is I don't know.
Totally.
I believe we all have those. They are, shorter or longer depending on the context and on the person and on the people that we have around us. Um, but it's also something that we should feel comfortable with saying, I don't know, or I need help, or I am sorry.
Yes. For many times you mentioned that sometimes we just need to suspend our judgment.
Mm.
Do you have, how do you do that personally? Do you have a practice for this? In which kind of mood do you put yourself to stop doing this?
I I have not gotten to the point where I have a practice for it. But what I am trying to do is, if I feel that there is a very strong emotional response that I feel like I'm getting, during a conversation or in a situation, I try to think whether that comes from past experiences and from something that I process in a certain way. So does it come from pain, or does it come from fear, or does it come from something that defines me, or does it come just from wanting to explore other ideas? So I try to listen to myself in parallel with listening to others and understanding whether I am hearing them through my own feelings and through my own thoughts, or am I literally listening to them and I'm comfortable being taken out of my comfort zone and to be challenged and to look at old things in a new way, or to just look at new things.
One of the points that I understood here, this from my part, is that self-awareness is not just about understanding the thoughts,
Mm.
but also the emotions that we have and these kind of sensations that can, like fear or happiness or maybe others, that can help us understand, oh, right now I'm feeling this, there is something going on, and I can try to understand what it is.
Yeah, there is a very powerful exercise, and this is something that well, I'm not sure it qualifies as a practice, but there is the wheel of emotions, or any breakdown of emotions that gets you to the very, the most granular source of emotion. Because when you say you're happy, there are, seven, eight, 10 kinds of happy that you can be. Or when you're angry, anger comes from different sources. It can come from being tired. It can come from, failing several times. It can come from fear. It can come from discomfort. It can come from so many places. And I believe that there is true power in being able to name your emotions, because one, you can name them and you know where they come from and what they say about you and how that particular interaction makes you feel. Then you can use that as you need in that moment and with that person and with yourself.
Thank you very much for sharing. If you would need to deliver a short sentence with a key message that you want to bring to our audience, what would it be?
Always be mindful that as you are different people going even, through one day, all the people that you meet are exponentially different. And you just need to be comfortable with that. You don't need to change it. You just need to acknowledge it and take it from there.
Mhm. And so, if you would share a practice also with our audience so they can get into the journey of responsible leadership and start being more self-aware, what which practice would you recommend?
I would recommend that they become comfortable with the fact that objectivity, real objectivity is utopic. It doesn't exist. Once you open your eyes and whether you have a headache or you feel particularly happy, that will drive your day. So get this practice into talking to yourself and seeing what you think and how you feel and know what you bring into the day with you and to the other people. And you can do that several times a day. It only takes 10 seconds, to just take a small break and see, okay, who am I being now and what am I thinking now? And it can be very surprising, good surprising and bad surprising, but it's definitely a huge self journey.
Mhm. Okay, thank you very much. We will
Thank
start
you.
then with those 10 seconds of reflection, maybe every day to start.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much, Minola, for this discussion. And well, see you probably in another interview. And I invite our audience to check also the other interviews that are going on and to go through this journey on responsible leadership. So thank you very much and see you soon.
Thank you very much, Marcelo, and thank you very much, everybody. And stay inspired and inspiring.
Thank you, Minola.